What's up, guys? It's your girl Auntie Nisha, and I'm back with another video. And today I'm gonna be telling you guys my labor and delivery story, like what led up to it, and the birth of my daughter. I don't know if I mentioned in any of the other 3 videos that I have, but I do have a 2-year-old, soon to be 3-year-old little girl, and I mean, this is a big significant thing in my life, and why not tell you guys how she came into the world. So I do have a paper down here because these few days are kind of blurry in and out, so I just had to sit down and recap exactly what happened, because like this process was like 3 days. It was long. I'm gonna say 2 days. 2 days I was in labor. I'm gonna say 2 days I was in labor, and it was a long journey, but it was all worth it. So first of all, my due date was November 28th, 2014, and she was born December the 2nd, 2014. So she was like 2 days late. No, 4. She was 4 days late, and I probably would have went 2 weeks over if what happened didn't happen. But she made her arrival. She's here, and yeah. So we're gonna go back to that Sunday. So she was born on a Wednesday. On a Wednesday, I believe she was born. So Sunday, November 30th of 2014, I went to the hospital because I wasn't feeling her move like all day long. And as a lot of people may know, at that that far along in my pregnancy, that I was already past due, it's very dangerous to not feel your baby move for a whole day. And like when I called my doctor to tell her that I hadn't felt her move all day, she kind of got at me because she was like, you shouldn't even waited this long, a whole 24 hours, because you're already past your due date. But I'm happy I called when I did. So the first thing when I called her, the first thing she told me to do, when you have a question, when you're pregnant, you call like a hotline, and then you let them know what the emergency is, and then your doctor calls you back from their phone. So at first she told me to go ahead and go to the hospital to just let them check me to make sure she was okay. Everything was normal, whatever the case may be. And then we hung up, blah, blah, blah. So we hung up, and, I was getting ready to just go to the hospital. And then, like, 20 minutes later, she called back and was like, go ahead and bring your hospital bag, because if everything is okay, whatever the case may be, we're just going to go ahead and induce you. So I'm smiling hard. I'm smiling extra hard because it's like, okay, it's time, basically. I was nervous. And, I already had my bag ready. I already had our bag ready. Me and my man's stuff to go ahead and head to the hospital. But he was at work at the time. He was at work, and I had to call him and tell him that we had to go to the hospital, that it was time, that they were going to be inducing me after they checked to make sure, that the baby was okay. He already know that I was going to end up having to go to the hospital, because I called him to tell him that, I wasn't feeling her move, and he was like, you need to call the doctor to make sure everything okay, whatever. But I called him, and he works security, so he works at like a booth by himself. So the only way that he's allowed to leave the booth is if somebody else comes and relieves him. And so all, you know, his bosses or whatever, before they knew from the beginning that, you know, that I was having a baby, that it was going to be a day to where they were going to have to make it snappy when that call was given. And so he called him. It took him like maybe 20 minutes to get home. Got home, you know, since our bags was already, you know, packed, we just went ahead, packed up the car and went ahead, you know, to the hospital. So we got to the hospital. They put me on the monitors. They checked. She was perfectly fine. She was actually moving and active, but I couldn't feel her for some reason. I don't know. They never really gave me an explanation as to why I couldn't feel her. But she was moving, but I couldn't feel her. And then that kind of gave them a even more push to go ahead and induce me. Because, you know, having that stress that far along in your pregnancy, I was overdue. You know, she was supposed to be here. But being that far along in your pregnancy, stressing in your pregnancy period is bad, let alone stressing that far along in your pregnancy. So they didn't, you know, want me to stress about not feeling her or whatever the case may be, and end up back and forth in the hospital anyways. And, you know, that kind of gave them even more of a push to go ahead and, you know, induce me. So while we were waiting in like in the room, not the labor and delivery room, but the room that they sit you in to have you check or whatever, they had me sign the papers or whatever the case may be to go ahead and, you know, get the induction started. While I was waiting, this is my first and only child right now. So while waiting in the waiting room, I hear this lady coming in. Like, my door was like cracked open so you could see, but on a gurney, you know, going to the room, getting ready to have a baby, screaming to the top of her lungs. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's my time. So I'm freaking out. I'm flipping out because I'm nervous as hell. Excuse my language. I'm nervous. You know, I'm getting ready to have a whole human being, right? And this is my first baby. So while I was waiting in the waiting room, little waiting room place, before they sent me to my labor and delivery room, I called my mom and I called my aunt to let them know that it was time to have a baby. My mom stays 2 hours away from me, so I called her that early to let her know that so that she could go ahead and get whatever she needed to get, pack her bags, and come on. At first, she wasn't really being in there with me because she I don't want to see you go through that pain. And I'm like, how could you not want to be in the delivery room with me? Like, this is my first kid. You know what I'm saying? This isn't her first grandchild, but this is my first kid. And I understand you don't want to see me in pain, but, you know, I had to let her know I need you there. And so, you know, she went ahead, packed her bags, called off work, and, you know, took that ride down. And once they switched me to the labor and delivery room, like maybe an hour or two later, they started me at like 1 o'clock in the morning. They gave me my first cervix softener. And this is basically to help push the cervix to start dilating, because when I went in, I was not dilated at all. She was not even thinking about coming. She was being so stubborn, like she wanted to stay up in there forever. But I'm like, no, you gotta come. You gotta come. We're ready to see you, and I'm ready to have my body back. So, they gave me my first cervix softener, and the cervix softener, because it helps dilate, basically open the cervix, I started getting like, you know, cramps or whatever the case may be. It wasn't like extremely bad. I could say it was kind of even less than like period cramps, but it was kind of irritating because it was going on for so long. And then after they gave me my second cervix softener, because the first one, you know, she was being stubborn, she wasn't wanting to come. I got my second cervix softener, and the cramps started getting heavier. And at this time, I was ready to go to sleep, and I couldn't go to sleep, so they gave me some medication to help me sleep, to take the pain away. They gave me medication to take the pain away, but one of the side effects was helping me sleep. And at one point, my man, his sister was there also with us. She was at the hospital with us, and this is before my aunt and my mom showed up, and they left to go get something to eat or something like that. And I thought the TV was talking to me. This is a drug that they gave me while I'm still pregnant, baby still in my belly, and it got me thinking that the TV talking to me. But it took the pain away, and it helped me sleep. And and then a few hours after that, the doctor came and checked me, and it still wasn't doing what it was supposed to be doing. And the next day, which was December the 1st, we kind of just sat around a little bit. Yeah, we kind of sat down. We sat around a little bit because, my doctor has her own she has her own practice or whatever, her own office. And so she had to go to her office. She was in her office, whatever the case, And I think she came on a break. I'm not sure. I don't really remember. Or it might have been after. I think it might have been after 6. So she had to been off of work. She came in, she checked me, and like I said, she was being real stubborn. She didn't want to come. And she didn't want to come. And so after already having 2 cervix softeners, that obviously was not helping. They had to insert a Foley bulb. This has to be one of the most painful things to ever feel. Okay? Painful. So what happens, a Foley bulb helps to mechanically dilate the cervix. So what happens is they put it's a rubber piece that they put up, and attached to it is like a catheter, like a balloon kind of thing. And they insert that into your cervix. If y'all know, your cervix is the size of a pen tip when it's, not dilated and it's not, trying to do nothing. Mine it wasn't trying to do nothing. They inserted this Foley bulb, and that crap hurt so bad. And my doctor knew that I was trying to go natural, and she was like, "How you gonna do this natural? You can't even get this put inside you." And I'm like, "Listen, ma'am, I'm already in pain, cramping already. I'm already irritated, okay, because y'all already in here every freaking hour on the hour checking me and all this, and I can't sleep through the night. So, and it's my first baby, so cut me some slack, So what happens when they insert the rubber piece? They pull a string, and it blows up a balloon that's on the other side. And with that, they come in every hour, and they pull it, basically opening your cervix, forcing your cervix to come open. So they did that throughout the night. Dunn came, and then she came that morning before she went to her practice, and she came and literally yanked it out. She was like, these nurses was not even pulling this hard enough. What were they doing? It could have been out of me. So she came, she pulled it straight out, and then they started me on Pitocin. Y'all, even though I got a paper to track everything that kind of went on that day, it's still kind of fuzzy because I really don't remember. It's been so long ago, almost 3 years ago. So forgive me. Anyways, they started me on Pitocin. Dunn left for that day to go ahead and And remember, this is December 2nd. This is the day that she was born. This is the morning that she's born. She came and then she left and she went back to her office. I started having contractions. I was having contractions all day. Around 5, she came back. Like, she closed her office like an hour early. It wasn't that much, maybe 2 hours. She came. She broke my water. And then I think I got my epidural before she brought my water. So I got my epidural after she came and checked me or whatever. I got an epidural, and then she came and she broke my water. And then after that, it was kind of just a waiting game. It was a waiting game. So that was around 5 that she came and broke my water. And around 8:30, she came, checked me, and was like, all right, it's time to push. Ready. Let's do this. The whole team of nurses came, and I'm so thankful that this was at night, because the nurses, my nighttime nurses, were like the best. My daytime nurses sucked. Okay, I'm gonna say, basically, they didn't care. They wasn't caring the way that I wanted them to. But my nighttime nurses, they was hooking me up, making sure I was comfortable. Even though I had an epidural, my daytime nurse, before they switched over, like, I was still in pain. Like, why did I just go through getting this big old needle stuck in my back, and I'm still in pain? The nighttime nurses came, propped the pillows up, switch, this and that, the other, and I slept, for a few hours before Dunn came and checked me and told me it was time to have a baby. So 8:30 came, time to have a baby. They had all the nurses come in because when Dunn popped my water, she saw meconium in the water. Meconium is the baby's one of the baby's first poops, and this is not supposed to happen on the inside. And I'm guessing that because of all this, I'm taking pain medication, I'm getting Foley bulbs, and I'm getting cervix softeners. I'm basically forcing her to come out when she's not ready, and it probably put so much stress on her, and she pooped. That's what I'm guessing happened. But she pooped in her water, so I had to have pediatricians right there in the room just in case, she end up inhaling it. You're not supposed to. It can be very bad. The doctor told them to, told my family, my mom and them had already got there. They got there. So they was already there. It was my mom, my 2 little sisters, my aunt, my man, and his sister. So we was all in there, and she told them not to make any noise because they didn't want to shake her up and have her to start crying. But baby, we didn't have to make no noises because she came out like screaming. She came out like that herself. But good thing, thank God, it wasn't a severe case, and she was all right. While I was in labor, I ran a little fever. So me and the baby had to get antibiotics for 3 days after she was born. So I was in the hospital for 3 days, actually 4 days after she was born. But I hate hospitals. And I was ready to go home sooner than that. So I was in the hospital for basically a whole week. I was in the hospital for a whole week. I was ready to go home so bad. Just wanted to go home, with my baby, and then just be that. So, at 8:52 p.m., my little star was born. She was 5 pounds, 14 ounces, 20 inches long, and it was the best day of my life. First thing that I checked is to make sure she had her 5 fingers and she had 5 toes. I mean, if she only had 5 fingers and 5 toes, that would have been a problem. It would have been a problem, but I wouldn't have, felt any different kind of way about it. Because it's still my baby. But make sure she had her 10 fingers and her 10 toes, and it was just the most precious thing. They sat her on my chest. She was crying, and I still remember that day like it was like yesterday. My man was standing beside me, boo-hoo, crying, like snotting. And I'm like, can we get him some tissue, please? And I don't know who just pushed out the baby. Oh my God. It's a painful yet beautiful experience. And I wish that every woman, you know, had the chance to have that experience. Unfortunately, everybody is not blessed. Everybody is not fortunate to have that experience. And I feel for that, because me experiencing that myself and knowing that a woman won't be able to experience that, it really hurts. It hurts me for them. And to those ladies, all I can say is, you take the positive out of the negative. You can go forward, move forward, try, different other things. Don't just completely give up. There's other ways around it, as we all know. You got surrogate, you can adopt. There's so many kids out here that need saving from women that were able to have babies, but either didn't want to keep the baby or don't deserve to keep their child. And you have beautiful women like you that aren't able to bear your own, that you can take that blessing and bless that baby. It's nothing that you can, I feel like it's nothing that I could really say to make that situation better for anybody, but all I can say is stay strong, keep your head up, and I hope that things work out in many different other ways for you in life. And that is my labor and delivery story. Sorry that this is 22 minutes long. If you guys have any comments, comment in the section down below. Like, subscribe to my channel. Any suggestions you guys can leave in the comment section down below. Also, if you don't want to leave it in the comment section, you can leave it in my inbox. Any suggestions, any videos, as you guys can see, this is not just a channel just for one specific thing. This is a broad channel. I want to do different things, different topics, just different stuff. This is the most consistent that I've been with YouTube ever since I was a junior in high school. I've been trying to do this and be consistent with this for as long as that. And I'm really, I'm trying to stay on top of this. So guys, just leave me suggestions down below what you want to see. And peace.